Now continuing from the previous video, we said we're gonna use toolkit to get the screen size, right? After we get the screen size, we can get the width and the height of the display setting. Now if we set X to screen width and screen height, which is alert, right? Alert is the dialog box that's pop up. We could control the size of the alert box by using GetDialogPane, which is get a pane and then set the preferred size to that pane where the dialog is on the top of the pane. Like if I set to 250 and 150, right? So it will be the size of the dialog, which is 250 by 150. But how do I make it to snap to the bottom right corner? Is right here. The alert itself can set the location to show at X and Y, right? I said the screen width is where the settings that I get from the toolkit. I just subtract off that side that I set, which is 250. Right, so if I can increase the size of the dialogs too, and it's going to subtract. I still snap to bottom right there, because I subtract to the size of the dialog. Then I get the width that's pop up right there, and this is the size, which is 300 pixels and 250 pixel height. Same with the height. Now we said I'm going to make another dialog, okay, to show input dialog on the top corner left. So input dialog with JavaFX is going to be input text, right? Input text dialog. Text input dialog. Text input dialogs. And we're gonna say input dialog equals to new text input dialog. We need to import this, right? Then we can start to set the title and the message, right? The contents. Set title. This is enter value, right? And the same dialog, set content, enter your height, right? And input, if you like, they have the set header text, right? Like title, like height, centimeters to feet, inches, converter, something like that, right? Now we need to make sure we show this dialog, right? Input dialog dot show and wait. And of course, when we get the input, we need to know how to read it into. Okay, now let's look at the dialog itself. I can show the location to the top, right? Left, we can enter something and then pop up, right? But I want to show it to top left. To do that, we do the same, right? We can just say input dialog dot set X to 0, because that's where the top left corner is. Input dialog dot set Y to 0. Okay. Now I always make mistake because I set it after I show. I need to set it before I show, right? Don't make that mistake, right? You have to move it before you show. There you go. Okay, then this message show up, right? All right, now how do we read in the values to calculate, right? You can do is return result. See that? So we can do show and wait. That show and wait actually return result when you hit. All right. You can also, there's two ways to do this. One way, you just create a result, right? And then you can attach to the text if it's present. So let's look at that. We know this will return. Now we need to know the type that returns. Return optional is a class, right? And type a string bracket like that. So that means you're going to type exactly the same, right? Right. Remember, just like byte int, the same thing, right? So this is optional string like that. So you have to type exactly the same. That's what it's going to return, and then it's going to be result. It's just the name of the variables or instance name here, and import, right? That optional. Now I have the contents right here. Then I can just say, instead of this hello, I'm going to say height. So concatenate the text, right? Your height is just like when you do system.out, concatenate to the result. So let's see what happens. So enter your height 10. Your height is, it's pretty much just do the word optional and put the string value 10. Now we want to get the value itself, right? We don't want to have the word. We have to use .get. See that? So .get, right? So your height is 10, right? Okay. So if I say in centimeters, then your height is 10 centimeters, something like that. Then just concatenate cm. Now, on your assignment, you just need to do conversion between this line. Start to do the conversion, right? If you read in a string, in JavaFXInputDialog you have to do parse, right? But this one you can change this, I think. Let's see if you can change. Nope, because it has to return string, right? Remember? Then you can parse too. If it's string, I want to parse to double, then say double height, right? Equals to, just say double dot parse double and pass the result dot get will return a string. Now you have height in double. You can start to calculate it, right? So I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to show you that you can do like as an int height in feet, right? So equals to height. I mean in inches first. We have to convert centimeter into inch. So by the formula, say times 0.39. But you have to do convert to feet and right and inches. This has to be double, right? because it's 0.39, right? That's double. And then I can just change this to in inches, right? Is height inch. So let's test this program. Enter in centimeters, 160 centimeters. So 62.4 inches. Now it's going to append, this is double because when it's multiply that. If you want, you can do the format. Okay. Which, for your case, you have to find 60 inches is 5 feet, right? You have to find 5 feet and 2.4 inches, right? Now, let's talk about when you display, you can do decimal format. Decimal format is a class, again, name decimal format. Let's name format equals to new decimal format. And the format that you want to control, pretty much just write in here. This is number. Let me import that in, right, with 1 decimal place, with 1 number, like numbers in front. So if I want to show format dot so I just do format. Now I want to apply the format to this, right? I have the number, so pass in that, right? Let's see, I think it's set format or dot format. Yeah. Right there, right? Because this is an instance name. Maybe better just to name, otherwise just confusing format or format, like instance name decimal format. Just like class, right? Decimal format, right? Instant, and then call the method to format, and you want to format that double, right? Into this pattern with 1 decimal point after that. So let's test again, 160. There you go. So I just get rid of all the extra zeros because when you do multiply, you get a lot of that back. So we just get the format that we want. Like this tell that, hey, if I want to decimal places, just put that like the hashtag just represent holding the number place, right? Let's try again, 160. 62.4. Now, you may look at decimal format class. It's going to explain more about in JavaDoc or in example. It's going to tell you what is this represent. See that? Digits. If it's 0, it's going to show as absent. But if you want to show exactly 0 or any digit, you have to do 0. Like instead of, that's why when I run, I don't see 2 places. If I want to see exactly, because if 0 is going to just not showing the 0 one. See it? Now it's going to show 0. Okay. All right. So I think you learn how to use InputDialog to get the values and show up on another InputDialog and control locations, and learn how to format with the numbers output with decimal format class. All in all, you pretty much just need to, you're going to have to learn a lot more classes. It's all about using classes. Refer to JavaDoc, is going to help, or some online tutorial.